Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today at ANZ D365 FinOps team. First of all, I would like to thank you all for joining us today, and a big thank you to all the volunteers, speakers, and attendees who always support us and give their precious and important time to this group. I would like to especially thank our today's speaker, Mani, who is always willing to help Dynamics community. Thank you very much, Mani, for coming forward to share your knowledge about advanced warehousing. We really appreciate your efforts. Okay, so next is, what is this group about? So this group, ANZ D365 FinOps team group, is we launched this group almost a year when we all started this group. And the main aim of this group is to gather D365 FinOps and Power Platform professionals from ANZ region. The main purpose of this group is to share their knowledge of D365 ecosystems with wider community based in ANZ region. This is the platform where everybody from ANZ region can come forward and share their knowledge, which they have learned over the past years. So as this is your group, our group, I would like to request you all to come forward and share your knowledge by speaking in our upcoming sessions. So if you want to share D365 FinOps and Power Platform knowledge, you can come to any of the member of ANZ D365 FinOps team. Okay. So just to let you know what D365 FinOps and Power Platform areas we have covered in our last session with the help of our great speakers. So some of the sessions are electronic reporting, dual rights, project operations, advanced warehousing, revenue recognition in finance and operation, and many other topics. So you can find all the videos of these sessions on our YouTube channel, which you can find in our upcoming slides. So if you want to get involved or you need to get connect, you can just connect with your own group through these mediums such as Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or can join our meetup group as well, where you can get all the notification of our upcoming sessions. So how to join LinkedIn? Here is the link which will help you in joining this group on LinkedIn. So we are present on the LinkedIn as well. This is our one of the Twitter link. So we have a Twitter link here as well. So you can just click it and join for the Twitter link. And the most important, where you can find all the videos of our previous session conducted by our great speaker. So you can just subscribe to this page, YouTube page, and you can find all the video. So in that, and I would really like to appreciate Mani. And now it's over to you, Mani. Mani, you are on mute, man. Yeah.
Thanks, Aman, and thanks everyone for the team, and especially the team is really doing great while connecting the all D365 community. And I take it as a really the great opportunity to present some learning which I was gone through during my project implementation. So, usually there are two different ways, right? Some of them we try to learn by theory and then try to implement in the projects. And while implementing the projects through hands-on, we receive some of the informations which will be really helpful for to share our D365 community, which help other consultants to accelerate, go forward, rather than repeating the same testing and repeating the same process again. So that's the aim. I would like to share a few things. So basically, let me directly straight to the point, and I'm going to share the screen and show the some slides. I also going to show you in the system how you can do it, and also explaining you some setups and some process and everything. And you can ask questions at the end of the session as well. Okay. So I hope everyone can see my screen. So what we are going to see today is basically the advanced warehouse process with the production model. So the conceptually, the advanced warehouse process, we all know there is a very much flagship functionality in our D365, which cover the purchase, sales, transport to throughout the process. And especially for the production, the production users, usually they used to ask us, how to perform the production operation in mobile rather than the system. And to answer this, the advanced warehouse is very much helpful. They're posting the raw material consumption as well as the posting the report as finished. They can use the advanced warehouse process for the production. The another interesting thing is something called production floor interface. So the advanced warehouse features, it's also connected with the production floor interface. The production floor interface is nothing but evaluation of the shop floor control and something like job card device and then shop floor production floor interface. So we are also going to see. And the third thing is called engineering change management. So basically the engineering change management, it's nothing but the product versioning. So usually when we have the customers, medical customers or food processing or some sort of furniture kind of companies, they would like to have the versioning of the product. So the first version they try to maintain some particular day. Then after that they receive the amendment from the version and then they continue for the second version. The bill of material and route, everything will change according to the version. So in order to track this, there is a new engineering change management functionality also was being introduced in D365. So these are all the three flagship functionality, and most over these are all the very real hands-on functionality which we are going to see now. Would like to take you that. So fundamentally, as an advanced warehouse, I am going to cover especially on the production point of view, not for sales, purchase, and transport or any other medium. So I am focusing mostly on the production point of view. And we know the advanced warehouse features is the wide range of support with every model, including the quality, transfers, and returns and everything. Well, though there is a production is the aim of this advanced warehouse process, but still the structure would like to tell you. So there are every advanced warehouse is generally grouped as two. One is location, another one is zone, and zone group is optional, which is the different functionalities. If you look at the location has a three major element, which is location type and format and location profile. So in that location type, which is a very essential role, because the location type is the one to define, especially in the shipping area, how your shipping locations has to pick. The location format is the one actual the bin location, the rack, aisle, as well as the bin location format. To definition, we are using the location format. The location profile is the one is a control mechanism, how the locations has to be performed. And these location is a license plate locations or not, or these locations are batch enabled location or not, how this location is grouping the batch, or all the control mechanisms are kept in the location profile. So in the advanced warehouse process, there are many elements are there. The very fundamental elements in the locations, and within the locations, these three are the very major playing elements which we need to understand. And in order to conceptualize what is the advanced warehouse process, whether it is the productions or sales, it is a so big area. But to simplify it, it is very much simplified. It's simply two different kind of categories. One is just inbound. Anything material is received from the company, that is just inbound process, whether it is the purchase order, transfer in, or sales, return, everything is considered as a inbound. The outbound is everything is transactions which we are capturing to sales, transfer out, shipment as the outbound process. So in our advanced warehouse process, we have to define inbound and outbound. And then it starts from the location directive. So the location directive is the one is telling in which locations you have to go. And then work template is telling to you in what is the work you need to do. And then then after that is you have the transactions. So that's the simplest way you can try to understand all the inbound process. It starts with the location directive, and then it's go to the work template. In work template will tell you what is the work you have to do, and then end. Same thing outbound process, it starts with the location directive, and before the work template, it's also something called wave process. It is something, if it is a shipment, you have to enable the wave process. There is an additional step for only the outbound process. Basically, it is for grouping the shipment. It's a D365 terminology, wave process, or you can call it as a grouping the shipment. So that is a fundamental, even though in this audience, if they may not have any advanced warehouse hands-on, to understanding these slides is more than enough to what I'm going to present. So that's a conceptual simplest framework of advanced warehouse for the purpose of the audience which are in the different module I drafted here. What we are going to see in the demo is there are 5 different stages of the production process. I'm going to purchase the stock and then receive, then I issue to the production, and after I produce, then I put away into the some specific places. So that is a process we are going to see. And in order to do that, again, for all of this, the simplified setting is only, this is the only the settings I was going to show to you. So let me show this process in the system, how it is happening. I log into this demo environment. So this is the mobile device. I log into the mobile device where I do have all the relevant access screens. There are reprint, RFG, raw material. So these are all, it's coming from the menu item design. So now let me start with the purchase. Then I will put away, and from there I will also show the how I am consuming the production work order, and I also show how I post the report as finished without I'm using the D365 fin and off by directly through mobile. So let me first go for start with simple and purchase. So I create a new purchase here. 02. So I'm selecting the warehouse 30, which is the advanced warehouse was enabled over there. Selecting the raw material. Just put 5 piece. Confirm. I can also open the on-hand screen to see as what is happening. Okay. So I select this PO. It's a PO receipt. I click the PO receipt. Here, its system is asking me enter the purchase order number. So whether I can scan or enter manually. So it asking me to scan the item. So I scan this item, and then it check the other details and everything, and it asking to fill up the quantity. So here it's asked me to scan the batch number. So I said I'm going to enter the batch number. If we define the batch number automated, then it is directly picked from there. If it is not, we have to manually giving, and then we have to give the expiry date. If you want to avoid the expiry date, you can give the shelf life, for example, year, 365 days or 600 days, whatever. So system won't ask you to enter the expiry date. Otherwise, we have to enter the expiry date. So this work is created. So what happened here is now, once the material is arrived to my warehouse, the warehouse operator or the warehouse supervisor to log into the mobile, and he received, and he kept the material into the inbound locations or inbound staging location, where you can print the label and then paste into the pallet. And then it is waiting for the worker to pick and put into the right rack and right locations. So this is the work ID. So we can go there, can pick. Select the different location. Maybe I can use this location one. Oh, okay. Yeah, it just, sorry, because I was received its throw error. Just ignore this error at this moment. Before this test, I was tested, so that is the reason the location is there. That's why it didn't allow. I have enough stock here. So assume I receive this PO and then I receive the stock in my particular locations. Let me create my production work order. I'm just going to create a new production work order. So let me put 5 pieces. I first estimate. After estimate, I'm release. So while I'm release, system is create a work for me. I can find the works from here. So what it says is I have to pick from these locations and then put it into this location in order to process my raw material. I select here. So note, this is the production work order currently. I have status has been released and there is not picking list or anything has been created. So I go to this raw material pick, scan my work ID and confirm. Is the 5 and 5A. And if this is just, sorry, this one, 1 minute, I will check. Let me log in here. So this is the production work order. Oh, okay. It's because that the batch number is. Oh, okay. It does not allow the mixed batches. Sorry. I was just change some status. 1 second.
Mani, you can check the location profile.
Yeah.
In the location profile, you have something called the allow mixed batches checkbox.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was I done it. Not sure what I did it. Maybe it is just tested. Not sure what I made mistake. Yeah, allow mixed inventory batches. Yeah.
Can you check for the pick location?
Yeah.
See in the work. Go to work and check the.
Yeah, here, this one.
Yes, you to need.
This issue. I'm not sure how it is. Maybe I do keep on checking again and again. I made mistake. Yeah. Is it I need to log in again? Okay, we'll come back again.
I think there is some expiration date error is coming.
Right. This is the production work order. I go to the work. Let me go to this work. This one. And this is the batch 3434. And is the one. Location mixed batches. What is this?
The location is money, is it?
Yeah,
No.
true. Location is money.
Go. Yeah, that might be the product input location.
No. Actually, here the location is C. Okay, so what we do here is I'm going to the raw material P, scan my work. So this is the one I'm going to pick from the 30 non-license plate locations one, and this is the license plate, and this is a 5. This is the batch number. But why it is going for separate one location money? Okay, it's showing different error. Okay, let me go and fix this. Yeah, I got why it's showing like this, because it's this location tested.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Go now. So raw material picking, select here, click OK. Okay, well, sorry guys, and I'm not know why how it is throwing error when it is shown in front of you all. Sorry. So it just like what I did is it once I release the production work order, it's create a work, and then I just complete my work, pick and put away, and click OK. So you can see its pick and put is completed. Then what I'm going to do, I click start, click OK, go to the views, see all. I see the pick list has been created with the file, and also I see the inventory status is picked. So I can also set like, I can post automated or not. That is again, it is secondary. So this is how I post the raw material. Now let me post the finished goods and then do put away. So I go to the FG receipts. I scan the production order number. I confirm the quantity. And then now I need to confirm the batch number. So here I'm aimed to enter the batch number manually. Then I'm entering the expiry date. So work has been completed. You can see the work. There is one more work has been created. At the same time, for this particular production work order, I can see the report as finished is posted. The 5 pieces is posted with the required batch number. And then that expiry date has been updated accordingly. Then I want to move it into this, non-license plate location. So click confirm. Complete. Done. So we go to the work. So this work also completed. So this is simply what I did is I just then once everything is done, then I can end my production work order. So just refresh this one. End my production work order. So here, what I did here is there is a 3 different option. The first one, by using the raw material pick, I pick from the raw material. Then by using production work order, start, I consume the raw material automatically. Then I post my report as finished from by receipt process. After I produce the report as finished, then I do put away here. So what I did for this is, so the basic things I can show the location directive. I use the raw material picking. So this is the 2 things. One is I use pick, another one is I do put away. So here I define this how much quantity min and max. And here I define the location profile. And here you see I enable the batch enable with the FIFO batch reservations. And then the put away, I define the same quantity as well as the batch defined reservation, which is very simple. Only the work type is raw material picking. So which pick and put away. So this is what for the location. For the finished goods put away, I selected the finished goods and put away. This is another work order type for finished goods. So here again, a pick and put. It is exactly same, like very simple. We just enable the batch enable tick mark. And apart from everything is the same because I use the disposition code in the parameter. Therefore, I put it as a exact match here. Then the work template. The similar for the raw material picking, I use the work template pick and put. And in the work class, I created the separate work class and ensure this is a shipping warehouse or shipping location type, which is same you selected into the warehouse parameter. And I selected the finished goods put away. I selected here with the same pick and put. So this is the 2 things only for the location directive. Another one is for the work template, which I done it. Apart from that, for the mobile menu, you see for the raw material pick, since we creating a work from D365, because after we release the production work order, after estimate, once we release the production work order, the work has been created. So therefore, I use the existing work, and then because of it is a staging locations, I said the license plate has to be generated. So that is what I done for the mobile menu. And for the FG receipt, I'm creating the work because I'm going to produce the output. So I create a work. So that is why I put it into the FG receipt. And then the put away, again, I am using the work which is created from the FG receipt. So this is the two mobile menu which I used to configure this process. So this is the simplest way. I'm doing this advanced warehouse by using the production process. The same advanced warehouse process, you can also cover something called production floor interface, so which we are going to see now. So let me move to the next thing called production floor interface. I believe if you have any questions, we may be discuss at the end of the session for overall. Do you have any questions now before I move to the next one, which is called production floor interface with the advanced warehouse? I hope no. Okay.
I think Mani, all good. You can move, then we can just cover the question at the end of the session.
Okay, so just now what we see in, I am posting the raw material and then I post the report as finished through the mobile device. Whereas this one is nothing but the production floor execution. What is really the production floor execution is, you can see it was general availability is July 21. It was become a general availability to use it. And what all you can do, there are many things you can do. The very interesting point is you can do the asset management integration, document reference, and all other process you can make it by using the production floor interface process. So which I'm going to show you how it is processing that. Okay, so in initial time, you may see there is something called shop floor control. After that, it was evaluated as a job card terminal, and then it was evaluated as a job card device, and now it was in the production floor execution. So this is what I'm going to use now. So once I log into the production floor, so system is there is a screens which show me the list of the production work orders which is available to process, and then in active jobs, if I started and pending for the report as finished is posted, it will show me under the active job. And the third thing is called machines maintenance. Is anything the machines maintenance request or downtime request, I can directly create from here. The any maintenance request I create here, it automatically create a asset management request in the asset management module. From the asset management module, once they complete the work, and you can also see the update whether it is a fixed or not fixed, so on. So that's the basic things here. And what other things like here is, by using this, you can also book the break, and you can also cover the break time, and whatever the times you are updating, you can also cover into the separate report. And there is, you can also click the activities, which is called indirect activities. You can also say like why there is a equipment repair or team meeting or those kind of activities you can define, and the indirect activities is for our user define. And you also define the cost of the indirect activity which can be incurred, right? And here there are some other options, which is something called start job while you're starting the job. And another thing is called, you can also attach the instructions. So you can see, click the instruction, and you can see, you can attach the, whether it is a Word file or image or anything you can attach, and the process, how they want to see and everything. And you can also open the document. If it is a Word or Excel or it is image, at any time you can click and open, it will open for you at any screen. So that's another advantage of seeing the instructions in the same form. So I can show there is a two different production work order, one with the advanced warehouse, one without advanced warehouse impact. So for example, I'm selecting this one, click start job. I'm going to start. This is what I started. If you see, it was in my active job list. Then I can also see that there is a details about the job and how it is, product details and what is the next operations and who is the employee is performing these operations, all those things. And the bundle is a functionality. Sometimes if you want to mix a multiple work into the single work, like if there are sometimes you may need to, same operator will do two job at same time, right? So those kind of things, primary operation or secondary operation, you want to combine two, then you can use the bundle process. And I click the report progress. So I just click the quantity. Here you can set the which state it is there and click the report progress over there here. And we just see this one. This one was the mission was just because I was used, it is happened. Let me take this one. So I take this production work order, start the job, start now. Uh, 1336. Let me go to the production work order. So I'm just want to avoid that previous production work order should not impact. So I just say that the previous production work order to reset the status. Okay. So in this production work order, I'm going to click the report as finished. So since it is the advanced warehouse management process is enabled, by using the production floor execution, it will ask you to the license plate. So again, there is a process. You can also select from the license plate here, or you can also create a new license plate and then select the license plate. And then it will ask you to batch number, enter the batch number, and then to enter the quantity. Okay. So the report as finished is posted. So you can see here, this is what we posted. When you go there. So this is the batch number and this is the locations and the license plate, and it has been created and it's get posted through the production shop floor interface process. And in this module, after you complete the job, you can also create a downtimes process if anything, if you want. So if you create here and you can add the downtime from these machines, you can select the machines here. And then you can add from date and 2 days and what is the time and everything. And the downtime will be get registered. And while leaving, you have two different options. If you use the logout and it just allow the other users will log in, whether if you use a checkout and you will completely check out from the system. And this how the production floor interface model will help us to process our transactions with advanced warehouse process without interfering the D365 fin and have the regular production order form. So in order to do that, what is the settings here is you have to be configure the production floor executions. When you click the production floor execution, there is a 3 things I did it. So what I did is in active jobs, I listed what all the jobs I would like to see, and in the machines, I listed what all the things I would like to see. After I define this one production floor execution process, and then there are few settings which is similar to the manufacturing execution process. You have to do it in order to process your advanced warehouse process activity as well. So which is very similar. You have to be configure this manufacturing execution parameter process, like whether you have to define this registration mode and table mode and everything. The beauty of thing is there is no any additional features or additional setups does not required if you are using the advanced warehouse. As long as the item is the advanced warehouse is enabled, and then the next important thing is in the production control. So here in the machine, as long as if we have the input warehouse and input locations and input everything, it's everything as an advanced warehouse enabled location. So only these two will make your production floor execution will work in the particular advanced warehouse process. So these are all the 2 things I would like to show as a advanced warehouse management to impact on regular mobile device, and another one is be processed through production floor execution. So that is the 2 major things would like to show. So the third thing is which I would like to show is something called engineering change management. And this engineering change management at present I could not show the system because it was in the customer domain. So I would like to share as a screens. What is the real usage of the engineering change management is when you create a product, you may be need to track the versions. Like the first 2 you create a product, and then you need to create a bill of material, and then you create a route. Then when you create a bill of material and route, you will use some period of the time. After some time, you receive the request from the customer. In your bill of material, component A has to be replaced to component B. So in order to satisfy the request, you are creating the request to engineering change management, which means you are asking to request to change the product, and then you create a new bill of material and new route. At the same time, you can also keep the tracking of the old version. And if there is a stock in the old version, you can also define the date range. In this particular date range, the old version has to sell. This particular date range, the new version has to sell. So in order to do that, the first basic thing is like you need to set up something called engineering product category details. In the engineering product category details, there is a check mark called track the versions in transaction. What it means is if we enable the track the versions in the transaction, it will create as a dimension. Like as we know the product dimension, we have the configuration, color, size, style. It also creates the 4th dimension called version. So version as a dimension, and your product will change to your product master, and everywhere you will see the particular dimension. But if you disable this one, you can still trace as a version, but it won't create as a dimension. What is a positive or negative point here is, for example, if your customer is asking you to create a product version, and if they say that every version has a different sales price, and every versions they would have to explicitly define into the sales and purchase those kind of the transactions, then you need to enable this tracking version is yes, otherwise tracking version is no. This is the first control. The second important control is enforce effectivity. What it means is after you create a product, it will show the versions like this. You see here, you see the product has shows the two versions here. So version 1 and version 2. So this product has a version 1 and version 2. And if you select that enforce effectivity, what it will do is it will force you to use the version 1 for specific days time, and version 2 will the specific date range, or version 3 so on. So it will just enable you to use this effective date and effective from date functionality. And this is the functionality of this. There is a two important, one is called version tracking, another one is called effectivity process. Then the third one is called engineering change request. So what will happen is, if you define your product as an engineering change enabled product, if any new request is come, you generate through the engineering change request, and then the engineering change, this is the engineering change order. You can see this is the item was been coming for you to change the request, and then there is an impact. You can drop down and select why you are going to change, so that whether it is a new versions or it is a life cycle management, you are changing the to life cycle to other status. Also you can use for engineering change management. So the reason, if you see here, there is a field, the product life cycle state for the creation. So the good advantage of the engineering change management is you can also define product life cycle. So what will happen is when you create a product, you define as a draft stage. So after it gone through the sample sales and everything, once the product is ready, then by using the engineering change order, you can change the status as well as a life cycle. And also you can change the version. By changing the version, you have all the ability to check the bill of material and route and everything by is the same screen. And by using this, click the search option, system will bring you, these are all the current production work order, or these are all the purchase orders or sales orders are using these old versions. And then it will allow us to comment or update in the same screen instead of going to multiple screen. Like for example, you are using the version 1. Now if you suddenly change to version 2, you need not to worry about which production work order, which sales order or anything is missing or not. By using this screen to click the view search, it will bring you every business impact for you, and then you can change it everything. After if you change, then it's become version 3. So version 1 become to version 2 become to version 3. So that's a pretty much, and I'm sorry I could not able to demo to you in the system because I don't have the demo environment. I do have only the customer environment, which I could not able to present at this moment. So that's a pretty much about that engineering change management and advanced warehouse, especially in the production area, which I would like to show. I think that's a pretty much would like to share in my side. You have any question?
Thank you very much, Mani, for demonstrating one of the difficult and demanded topic. It was quite an interactive session. Thank you all for asking all the questions. Here we have some questions. So the first question is that can we, the production flow which you showed to the people, can we customize the production flow interface, or source code is not available for customization? Do you have an idea about that? That can we customize that production floor interface?
In the floor, yes, we can because what I read from the D365 manual, we can customize some additional functionalities and everything. Yes, but not like you cannot completely merge with other module and all those things. Like you may be within the production module, you can add few features, like you can make them to show that resource Gantt chart to connection, those kind of minimal level. That's what I think. Maybe the technical person can answer the detail level.
Okay, thank you. I hope that we have answered the question. The next question is that can we track location of product master variants as well in advanced warehousing?
Variant, yes, correct, can. So you mean to say in advanced warehouse, you are saying by using the product variant?
Yep.
Yes, can. So we can use that. So I'm using, yeah, we can. There is no change the process. It is exactly similar setup.
Okay, so These were the questions which I were having.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but our attendees have asked us to arrange a configuration session for these production floor. So we would really, yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I can show you very simple way how to do is. Like,
Okay. Meanwhile, we have one question as well. Is additional license required for production floor execution?
no, this is a standard D365. Just like if you see, it was released latestly. It come with a standard D365. Just you have to enable some feature.
Okay. Yep. So if we have these 3 to 4 minutes, if you could show them a little bit of configuration to them.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to configure this production floor interface, okay. So the first basic things, you have to complete the basic process in the manufacturing execution also. So in the manufacturing execution parameter, here you need to define whether you are going to log in by batch or log in by to password, those kind of information. And these are all the standard details you have to be updated. And then here you are defined that indirect activities, how you are processing. Okay, so the major things here is production order default. So here you need to set the major settings here. So here I'm telling to the systems, you have to be enable this use manufacturing execution is a yes. And then this is the additional options. You can tell to the system, do you want to open the picking list from the production floor interface itself? So by using the production floor interface, you can also directly access your picking list. So if you just say yes, and all other, if it is a very standard parameters here, and this is about to tell the route code or job code, whether you want to track the route or job, you have to define this whether the job level or route level. And if you choose the route level, then you need to choose a route process and everything here. And then you need to define how you are posting the report as finish, and what is the process of the report as finish. While doing the report as finish, do you want pick list and BOM material are going to be consumed or not? So these are all the basic setups you have to do it. And apart from that is in the configure job card terminal, you have to be still configure the job card terminal. In the configured job card terminal, I use this production. Here you see there is a list of all the buttons. So here you need, when this is a design, like you need to define which column you need to be in to be present, what are all the things. It's all the options are available from the production activity. So you just need to select what all the you want. So when you click add, it will ask you what are all the things you need to add or what are all the things you need to remove it to see in the production flow process. So after you enable these basic things and everything, then we directly start to configuration. So here just like you need to add the separate tag. Like for example, if I'm add like this one, configuration 01, configuration 01, then you need to say it's like all jobs. Job details, and here you just, because the options are everything available, whatever you see in the production floor interface, the maintenance request and report as process, the beauty is everything is available. You are not doing any intensive work. It is just very drag and drop. So you just put it everything drag and drop over there. Then the next thing is you directly go to this production floor execution. Then there is something called configure. Just click configure. The moment you click here, it will ask you to select from the initially you put the 3 things, right? So that is why it's asking you how you need to choose. Then after you select any one, then it will ask you to select which resource you need to select or which resource group you want to select. So once you select the resource group or resource, then once you click OK, then it will allow you to open your production floor interface. The only thing, if you want to use the advanced warehouse management, the machine should have the input location and output locations, which is relevant to the warehouse enabled. So that's a pretty much on that. You can directly start the process after that. So the moment you log in, by standard, you will see all the production work orders. After it is released, after it is job has been scheduled. So there is only two conditions. The job has been scheduled and the released, you can see everything here. And you seen this, all the left and right side activities, everything is standard. So there is nothing to additional features and everything. That's it pretty much.
Yep. Thanks, Mani. We have lots of questions for you, but obviously due to the time constraint, we would not be able to take all the questions. But
Yeah.
I hope that you are happy to take the questions directly through your LinkedIn profile or something, right?
Yeah, yes, please, yes.
Okay, so the last question I just want to ask you is about we have an issue where available physical quantity is not calculated properly, and we are using engineering change management in AX 2012 R3. So do you have any experience of something like that where you have some issues with physical quantities not calculated properly?
I didn't face any issues with this physical quantity because that engineering change version does not impacting on physical quantity, I believe, because we are using one customer in the engineering change management. We enable the engineering change functionality. It's working fine and it is very useful. As I told, there are some product we enable the date version control and some product we enable without date version control. We are using without any problem as of now.
Mani, this is Ritesh here. I asked this question. So because of this version enable, we have another dimension also got enabled.
Yes. Yeah.
So with the dimension, when we try to see available physical quantity in on hand, we are not getting it correct. It is showing physical inventory and there is no reservation, but available physical is always 0. Though as per the regular calculation, if physical inventory is there and there is no reservation, the available physical should also be same like physical inventory, but it's not.
Okay, so you are using okay, you are using D365 engineering change.
No, it is AX 2012 R3 issue. So
okay.
I just asked if you are aware.
Okay, I didn't face this issue in D365, but if it is because we are currently in our on-hand form and everything, we didn't face this issue because what happened for us is we are using only one dimension, which is called version dimension. So version 1, it says, for example, 100 pieces, and version 2, it says 200 pieces in the on-hand. And we are happy to processing sales and purchase. Okay. We are not face any problem as of now. Maybe I can check whether it was fixed or not.
No problem. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mani. So I think we will close that session. And in the end, we want to thank all the attendees and our speakers, Speaker Mani. We wish that you all, we wish that you stay safe and healthy in these challenging times. Thank you and have a nice weekend ahead.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for your valuable time. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thanks, Mani. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I hope recording will be available,
Thanks,
right?
Mani.
Sure. The recording will be available after 1 week to our YouTube channel, which I have posted here. So you can just see all the recordings there.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us today. It was a great participants.
Thank you, Mani. Thank you, Mark.
And please arrange
Great session.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.